So we're back in the studio with Tim Murphy talking about My Life is Not a Drag.
No.
So you've told us a little bit about the background behind what inspired the show. Can you tell me a little bit about what the show is actually about? I was kind of asking before, like, is it funny? Is it serious? It seems like it could be a little bit of both.
Right. So I do like to keep all the funny stories in there because you can't just sit there and listen to somebody talk about addiction and depression and mental health. And I guess you could, but that wouldn't be my style.
Right.
And it wouldn't be Joan's style either. So what I do is I come out like a blank canvas. So if you can see the picture behind me, obviously I don't necessarily really look like that, and those certainly are not. I don't have.
But they're pretty impressive.
I don't have breasts. So it's all done with makeup and contour. The same thing with the cheekbones, and you can see the nose has to be contoured because my face doesn't look like Joan. I mean, even Joan's face doesn't look like Joan. She had so much work done.
Right.
But so what I do is I basically come out with my base makeup on, which means I've already blocked my eyebrows out. I use Yoo-Hoo glue as a stick glue that blocks out my eyebrows because I have to draw all my eyebrows on.
Right.
And I start off, and my makeup table is there, all my brushes, my makeup, my wig, and then basically I just start painting my face and telling my story.
Wow.
So and it takes me to do that takes me about an hour and a half, but that includes all the eyebrow stuff and the base. So what I do is I spend about an hour telling the story of the progression of going from growing up to Joan.
Right.
In about an hour, and over that period of time, I actually put all of that face on in front of the audience.
And become Joan.
And become almost Joan. Once I get to the end of my story, and I'm able to actually celebrate my successes, I say, I'll go get Joan. And then I disappear. There's a brief intermission, not even an intermission, it's just some music.
Quick breather.
Quick breather while I change behind a screen. And the change basically is just adding the wig, adding the jewelry, and adding the outfit. Joan comes out then, and we have like full-on comedy. Full-on Joan Rivers. I do about a 20-minute set. That takes us to about almost 90 minutes. And then to end the show, one of the signature numbers of the show, An Evening at La Cage, which, by the way, An Evening at La Cage is a dinner theater show that opened in Los Angeles. It was running in Los Angeles, Atlantic City, Las Vegas. It's still in Vegas at the Riviera. It moved to Toronto, and then I worked in the show in Toronto, Cancun, St. Martin, Puerto Rico. There was another one in Aruba. So these La Cages were all over, and it became a tradition that the MC of the La Cage was a Joan Rivers impersonator, which is how I ended up working in the States because the only other two Joans that were there were working elsewhere.
Right.
So, anyway, the end of the show, An Evening at La Cage, which is a celebrity impersonation review. It's one of those shows where you see guys doing Cher and Liza Minnelli and Judy Garland and Tina Turner, Janet Jackson, all the celebrities, but they're all guys. And a Michael Jackson and Madonna, that stuff. So at the end of the show, there's always one impersonator who starts off as a female, and the song is Mom and I Live Alone, What Makes a Man a Man.
Okay.
And during the course of the song, and they lip sync in La Cage. None of the performers really sing live in La Cage, it's mostly lip sync. The guy lip syncs this song while changing from a woman to a man. Takes everything off on stage, and then by the time the song is over. So I do a version of that, but the song I do is I Am What I Am from the Broadway musical, La Cage aux Folles. And I sing it live.
Okay.
So I transition from Joan back into Tim while singing a number and taking everything off on stage and going back to
So it's pretty symbolic.
It is. It's like full circle, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And how is it, kind of to finish this off,
Yeah,
so
sorry.
you're going to be doing this at Fringe, everyone's going to get to check it out, we'll talk about the dates after, but how has this helped you to express yourself and kind of cope with a lot of the things that you've pushed down for years?
Well, and I'm not a good journaler. And for all the different doctors I've seen and the therapy I've gone through in my life, they always recommend journaling, and I'm not good at it. So I found writing this show was actually almost like catching up on 50 years of journaling that I never did.
Yeah.
And I took a lot of it out, but in the process of writing it, a lot of stuff came out.
You're getting it off your chest.
Absolutely, dealing with it and realizing it, so it was a lot of aha moments in putting the show together. And so then I had to just weed through and say, well, that's kind of gratuitous, or no one's going to care about that, or this is really personal. And I had to reduce the show because I had to make it 90 minutes. My life is long, and I can talk, as you can tell.
Can you?
I
didn't
little
notice.
bit so. So yeah, it's sort of highlights of my way through navigating my way through my life.
And when can people see the show for themselves at Fringe?
Okay, so I'm performing in the Windsor Park Hotel. Well, the Windsor Park. I don't think it's called the hotel anymore.
Right, Windsor Park
Which is
Ballroom.
really kind of also interesting. My grandfather Jenkins, my mother's father, was a local jeweler, and he had a
Okay.
jewelry store called Lloyd Jenkins Jewelers, and it was located in the Windsor Hotel.
Oh, weird.
So in the front, when you first walk in the Windsor Hotel, on the right side there was the jewelry store. On the left side was Laura Secord ice cream, and I always loved to go to my grandpa's store because not only was it my grandpa, but I'd get an ice cream cone.
Right.
So the fact that I'm actually
Talk
performing,
about full circle.
I know, right? The fact that I'm performing this right behind the place that was my grandfather's store all those years ago, it's crazy. So anyway, we're in the lobby of the Windsor Hotel. It's 8:45 p.m. Friday the 10th. So I don't know when this is going to be airing, but today is Wednesday.
Today is Wednesday.
My opening night is in 2 nights.
Okay.
At 8:45.
But you have other shows too.
I do. Sunday, the same location. I'm always in the Windsor Park Ballroom. Sunday at 8 p.m. Sunday the 12th at 8 p.m. And Saturday, then I have a week off. Then Saturday the 18th, my final show is at 7:30 p.m.
So you have 3 opportunities to catch Tim Murphy with the show My Life Is Not a Drag, and there's also a lot of other performances and art at Fringe that looks really, really exciting this year.
Fringe Festival is what they've done. This is the second year, and they've got so many amazing entries. People coming from all. Okay, the guy that played the math teacher, Mr. Dewey, on Facts of Life, he has this. He has a one-man show he does. It's a play, underneath the lintel. This guy is like world class, and he's driving here to the Sault to do
Fringe.
our Fringe Festival.
Yeah.
Like to score the quality, and never mind, that's not to discount anybody from Northern Ontario
Right.
who's already coming here from Sudbury and all over the place. What Tova Arbus and I can't think of his name right now. I'm gonna get in trouble for this. Anyway, what they've done with the Fringe Festival is nothing short of remarkable, miraculous even.
It sure is, and you have all of next week to check out Fringe, and we'll be covering some of the events through
Yeah.
On TV and Sue Online, so don't forget to check that out, and we'll be back with more news after this.
Thanks, Riley.
Thanks.